Hi, it's Vex, and we have another deck tech from Innistrad Midnight Hunt. We have Old Stickfingers. That's right. I know it's cool because it doesn't have like a weird name. It's got Old Stick and Fingers. Easy to pronounce, right? Since I have a hard time pronouncing all these names. And Old Stickfingers is an X spell commander, X black green, so it's variable cost, which is really cool. Play it for 2. It'll probably die right away because let's read its ability. When you cast this spell, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards. Put all creature cards revealed this way into your graveyard, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Okay? So essentially, X is the number of creatures you're going to entomb from the top of your deck. Old Stickfingers' power and toughness are each equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Okay, let's dissect that real quick. So if you play Old Stickfingers for black-green, you better have a creature in your graveyard or Old Stickfingers will die and you put it back to command zone. So it doesn't do anything if there's nothing in the graveyard. Pay for 1, then Old Stickfingers be a 1/1. Okay. So the cool part about it is you can play Old Stickfingers for like say X is 4, so 6 mana value total. You get four creatures in the bin, right? Stickfingers 4/4. Then if they kill Stickfingers, then you're like, okay, let's just pay 4 mana, 2 commander attacks, black green, X is 0, So you can, the second time can be cheaper than the first time, and then Old Stickfingers can still be a 4/4. The goal of this deck is Reanimator, of course, because you literally have an Entomb on a commander. You pay, let's say you have one creature and only one creature in your graveyard. You just pay 1 black green, get that creature into your graveyard every time. I know a lot of people have been talking about Stickfingers with a combo, so let's actually show you the Stickfingers combo that everybody's been talking about. Don't forget your tokens. The combo here is Mikaeus the Unhallowed and Triskelion. These are the 2 cards that work really well together. Mikaeus the Unhallowed, let's read Mikaeus the Unhallowed real quick. The important part is here, other non-human creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Undying. And Undying is when a creature with Undying dies. If it had no +1/+1 counters on it, return to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. And then Triskelion here is ETBs with 3 +1/+1 counters. You can remove a +1/+1 counter, deals 1 damage to any target. Okay, so you cast these 2 cards, cast your Triskelion, put 3 counters on it. That's how that works. What you do is you would take 1 counter off, deal 1 damage to your opponent, take 2 counters off, deal 2 damage to Triskelion. Now, that's important because Mikaeus gives Triskelion +1/+1. Triskelion is now 2/2. So you have to kill Triskelion, dealing 2 damage to Triskelion. Triskelion will die. Mikaeus Unhallowed will see that death. The Undying will trigger. Then bam, Triskelion will come back with additional +1/+1 counters. So that's 4 +1/+1 counters. You can deal 2 damage to your opponent, 2 damage to Triskelion, then you loop this infinitely, and then kill all your opponents that way. Another combo is, with Walking Ballista and a Blood Artist or Zubu Cutthroat, which we don't play in this deck, so we don't have that infinite combo in this deck. We just have this one. And Ballista can just ping itself to death, causing 1,000,000 death triggers. But that's a little harder of a combo to execute. Okay, with that combo out of the way, these cards are in the deck, right? So you can get this combo if it does happen that you get this combo. But it's there. We have way more creatures. We don't want to just execute the combo every time. We want to just still have some fun, do some reanimation. Plus, Mikaeus is a really good card by itself, and Triskelion is pretty good too. So we have these cards. There's actually one more, not an infinite combo, but a combo itself. Is we have Asmodeus the Archfiend and Skirk Familiar right there. Let's actually read these cards here. Asmodeus is Binding Contract. If you would draw a card, exile the top card of your library face down instead. So essentially, it's kind of like a Necropotence thing. You just exile instead. Pay 3 black, draw 7 cards. That's cool. Sounds like a Gristlebrand text, right? And then pay 1 black, return all cards exiled with Asmodeus the Archfiend to their owner's hands, and you lose that much life. Okay, so you pay 4 black, you draw 7, lose 7, right? Because instead of drawing, when he says draw 7, you would actually exile it face down. And then we have Skirk Familiar, which is flying, discard a card, add 1 black. So what you can do is essentially draw 7 cards, discard 4 of them to add 4 black, draw 7 new cards, discard 4. So you can. But you still have to pay life to do it. So you could kind of build around Gristlebrand. So that's a cool combo there. We have a value card that if you're playing Reanimator and you're entombing cards to the graveyard, you have Necrotic Ooze. Let's actually put this right here, Necrotic Ooze. So it's pretty cool. 2 black. You know, as long as the Necrotic Ooze is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all creatures in all graveyards, which is super cool because it can be Osmodeus, Skirk Familiar, Triskelion, Walking Ballista, stuff like that. So it'd be cool if Mikaeus, Necrotic Ooze is in the battlefield. Then you have a Walking Ballista. You know, you can do some shenanigans there, which is super cool. So definitely want Necrotic Ooze as part of your Reanimator package. Now let's go to some big fatties that, you know, I love reanimating. Razakath, the Foul-Blooded, right there lets you tutor cards out. Super good because you could use Old Stickfingers, Entomb Razakath, and then Reanimate Razakath. Sack Old Stickfingers to Razakath to just Demonic Tutor. So pretty good. We have Shieldred, the Whispering One, and this is extremely good in this deck here, twofold because, you know, being an upkeep, return target creature card from graveyard to a battlefield. Then it's got Reanimation too, and then makes opponents sack creatures. Of course, we have good removal, Woodfall Primus here. You know, ETB, destroy target non-creature permanent. Then we have Trestodon. You know, ETB, destroy 3 non-creature permanents. You know, make 3 Elephants. And then we have some graveyard value cards like Timeless Witness. I have this instead of Eternal Witness because if you get in the yard and you don't have a way to reanimate, you can internalize for 7 mana value and then get a card back. So I have this instead of Eternal Witness. I have Brawn, which is really cool. As long as it's in your graveyard, you control force. Everybody gets Trample, so you just keep it in the yard. Mill it, keep it in the yard. Genesis, ways to get creatures back from the yard to your hand. Guard Grave Troll, Dredging. And Guard Grave Troll is actually really good too, because it's actually good with Necrotic Ooze and Walking Ballista and stuff like that. There's some synergies in the deck. You start figuring it out as you play it. But ETBs will +1/+1 counter for each creature card in your graveyard. I know a lot of Dredge players are like, what does this card do besides Dredge 6? Yep. It gets big for creatures that your graveyard, and then you can remove a +1/+1 counter and you regenerate it. So super good. You can Dredge 6, bring things, Dredge things into the graveyard. And you have Underrealm Lich, which is super cool. Here you just, look at the top 3 cards of your library, and then pick one, then mill the rest 2. And then you make it indestructible by paying 4 life. All right, so those are some value creatures, some fatties here, combo. We do have more creatures as we go on, so we'll get to those. Let's just talk about other ways to get creatures into the graveyard. We have the classic Entomb itself. So if we want to reanimate a specific creature, we can Entomb it, like Razakath, Trestodon, etc. If we can't get it with Old Stickfingers. Other Entomb effects, Bury Alive, get 3, which is super cool. They have new Modern Horizons 2 card, Vile Entomber, which essentially entombs, but it's got Death Touch, so it's cool. Then you got new, again, Modern Horizons 2 card, Unmarked Grave, non-legendary. So you cannot put Razakath, but you can put, Woodfall Primus and stuff like that. Super good. Then we have some Reanimation spell. Now, we only have only 4 of these entombing because Old Stickfingers will essentially do the entombing for you, but just add some redundancy to the deck. Now, we love reanimating. Imagine this. This is Christmas Land, of course, is you get Old Stickfingers, you pay 1 as X, you bin Razakath, you animate dead Razakath, you sack Old Stickfingers, Demonic Tutor, super good, and you do that on turn 4 or 2 maybe, super good. So animate dead, the classic, use target something in the graveyard, animate it. Dance of the Dead. Now this got a lot of text. I think they're gonna have an insanely hard time reprinting this. I think it's on the list. I'm not sure. Maybe not. It's essentially animate dead. Just reanimate a card. These are enchantments that will stay on creatures. So if they destroy the enchantment, the creature goes back to the yard. Necromancy, another card. I think this is on the list. Very hard to print because it's got giant long text. But essentially, you can play a flash speed. You reanimate again, and then we have the new cards that are easier to read. Phyrexian Delver. When ETBs, it does exactly what Reanimate does. Creature or card from graveyard to battlefield, lose life equal to a CMC. And there you go, Reanimate. So Phyrexian Delver has the Reanimate text, except for it's a creature itself. So it's cool if you want to reanimate Phyrexian Delver, have Phyrexian Delver reanimate another creature. You have Reanimate itself, classical. Put target creature card from graveyard into a battlefield under your control. You lose life equal to its mana value. Now, Reanimate can reanimate opponent's creatures too, so don't forget about that. So can Dance of the Dead, Animate Dead, and stuff like that. So actually, all these creature cards can return creatures from other graveyards. So just remember that. No, except for Phyrexian Delver, only your graveyard. My bad. But these, then we have this card, Life and Death, not Life and Limb, Life and Death. I never play the life side, so I don't care about it. Death is another Reanimate, except for in your graveyard only. See, as the cards get newer, they just try to have less shenanigans go on, so it's like always your graveyard, but older cards are any graveyard. Then you have Persist, essentially non-legendary, graveyard to battlefield. Dread Return, brings back a creature from your graveyard, of course. Vigor Mortis, I love this card in Ravnica. Return a creature card from your graveyard, but if you pay green, they get +1/+1, +1/+1 counter on it. A little +1/+1 counter theme here. So there's some reanimation spells. So far we have about 9. Sweet. We have our 10th one, Makeshift Mannequin. Gives you the illusion checks. And it's an instant reanimation spell. And then when creature becomes a target spell or ability, sack it. So it's like the illusion text. And I love this in reanimation spell. Command the Dread Horde. Let's actually take a break here. Not a break, but a pause and read this. Choose any number of target creatures and planeswalker cards in graveyard. So this is a new card that does any graveyard. That's amazing. Okay. Command Dread Horde deals damage to you equal to the total mana value of those cards. Ouch. But put them onto the battlefield under your control. So you get to steal a bunch of cards, as many cards as you want, as long as you don't die. So this is pretty sweet there. Agadeem's Awakening gets you multiple creatures back with different mana values, so extremely good. Now, Finale of Devastation. I know a lot of people think this is a library tutor, but look at this. Search your library and or graveyard. That's right, for a creature card with mana value X or less, and put it onto the battlefield. So this is a reanimation spell. I know, you got a reanimation spell in green, but this is one. Bam. So now we have, 5, 10, 13 reanimation spells. Sweet. Those are the super good spells that you want to get. And we have reanimation-like spells. Valkyrie Rebirth gets things back if they die. Journey to Eternity gets it back. But, let's see. But the flip side is, look at this. It says, if you can flip it, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Reanimation land. Repeatable reanimation lands. Insane. Super good. Stitch together. Returns a card back. But if you have Threshold, reanimate. No damage. Okay, we have our usual fare here. Now we're really excited. This deck is really exciting. I love reanimating things. Again, take a quick pause. This is why I tell you to have graveyard hate. If you had a Rest in Peace, Old Stickfingers would just die. Like, stuff like that. Reanimation, cheats things in Magic, where you could literally play, use Old Stickfingers and mill a Trestodon on turn, 3, and then turn 4 you could, reanimate it with, reanimate itself. You would take, 8 damage, but you could destroy somebody's 3 lands, and they would just be like back to the Stone Ages. Then they have 3/3s that can attack you, but you can just block with Trestodon. You can see how insane reanimation is in this deck, and in general is. That's why I stress always have that graveyard hate, because reanimation cheats on mana cost a lot. But of course, in this deck we want to cheat on mana cost, so don't play graveyard hate against this deck. Okay, the usual fare here. We have some tutors, and we have a special tutor I included. We got Demonic Tutor, usual, Diabolic Intent, but I've always wanted to include this Mausoleum Secrets. It's got Undergrowth. So essentially it's a search your library for a black card with mana value equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Super good with Old Stickfingers. Put in your hand. So it's a Demonic 2 for a number of creatures in your graveyard. And you have your removal, Abrupt Decay, Assassin's Trophy, Beast Within. Good removal. Good flexible removal. Corrosive Grip, Force of Vigor. Right there. And then we have a cool target that could kill itself. So can be good for a reanimation target. Caustic Caterpillar. Sacrifice, destroy target artifact enchantment. We don't like artifacts and enchantments, right? Bam. Speaking of don't like artifacts and enchantments, Bane of Progress right here. Very good to reanimate. Destroys all artifacts and enchantments. Remember, this will destroy your animate dead. Will kill your creatures. But, again, some people love their enchantress decks, love their artifact decks, and we got Punish hard. We punish them hard. Board Wipes. Toxic Deluge. Their Living Death. Of course, this is like another reanimation spell-ish. Just swaps your graveyard and your battlefield. And of course, you're putting big things in your graveyard. Your opponents might not. This has backfired on me, so be careful about using this. Then we have Find Finality, which I actually really like this card, because both modes are very valuable. Return 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand, okay, and you pay 4 black-green, put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature, then all creatures get -4/-4. So this can kill little pesky tokens and stuff. So this is a little, it does double duty, which I really like in this deck. I love flexibility. Torment of Hellfire, this is player removal. Look, some people are saying this is a boring way to kill people. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Sometimes games need to end. This ends games. It's good to have one of those. Speaking of that graveyard hate I was telling everybody about, Scavenging Ooze, really good graveyard hate. Have it. Collector Oof. Now this is since we're not playing, I think we're only playing Soul Ring as our only artifact. Reanimating Collector Oof can shut down some good decks. Look, people need to be punished by playing so many artifacts. Collector Oof shuts down those treasures. Great. Heroic Intervention, stable green card, gotta protect our board. Validate Recovery, stable green card. You know, sometimes you want your reanimation spell, your removal spell, whatever you want. You want it back. Call this. Greater Good. It's one of the ways to draw cards. Oh, we do have one enchantment, one artifact, one non-reanimation enchantment, I should say. Greater Good helps us, sack creatures, get them back, recur creatures. So gotta do everything for the Greater Good. Our one artifact, Soul Ring. And then the ramps part, Soul Ring here. We got Shakira Tribe, good to reanimate, good to sack. Skull Prophet right there. So let's put these over here. Put these back in the deck pile. We got these cards. Skull Prophet. I actually really like this card. Adds black or green, but puts mills the top 2 cards of your library. So it's pretty fun there. Farseek. The quadfecta, I call it. Farseek, Nature's Lore, Ramp and Growth. 3 visits. Good 2-mana ramp. Cultivate Karam's Reach. And the other usual fare, your 2-mana dual lands, Command Tower. I love having Woodland Chasm with the trifecta. I mean, with Farseek, Nature's Lore, and 3 visits, this land becomes really good. They only have these 2 lands as basic land types that are dual lands inside of your enemy colors, so that's why I have an extra one. Nurturing Crete lands, but I love the enemy Horizon lands. Really good way to draw cards. Ancient Tomb. We're just going fast. Jugawatt more Draver Hate, gotta have it. Dakmore Salvage, Dredge again, Phyrexian Tower, Cabal Coffer, stuff like that. Orbor Cabal Coffers combo, Yavimaya. So all the good cards. Eternal Night, basic land, so that looks sweet, doesn't it? Okay, let me shuffle this deck up and get to reanimating. All right, but before then, if you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for new videos. I'm gonna shuffle this deck up, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. Shuffled, locked and loaded, turn 1. Here, Gagaria is my favorite color combination. I love it, but I also have a Chatterfang deck, which I also love very much. Tokens, Reanimator. I have my Abzan deck, which is an open slot that I do want a Reanimator. To make a Reanimator deck, I'm just waiting for a good Reanimator commander. I know they have Corridor, whatever his name is. Okay, I don't know why I just move things around. So these are 2 lands. This is a land. Don't forget, Mo Double Face card is a land. Nature's Lore. So we got lands. Asmodeus, the Archfiend, which is okay. I'd rather have that in my graveyard so I can reanimate. Persist, so I can Entomb. Don't have a reanimation spell. I mean, Agadeem's Awakening is a reanimation spell, so we can keep that in mind. Save this decision for later. A cool thing is what you could do is bin Walking Ballista for 0 and play Old Stickfingers on turn 2. Be a 1/1, but that's kind of ridiculous. Let's not do that. All right, turn 1, let's go. Boom, Swamp. Okay, that's another Swamp for Agadeem's Awakening. Let's put Woodland Chasm because we're not doing anything with that. Here, and say go. Next turn, turn 2. Journey to Eternity. Okay, we can do a little combo with Woodland. Walking Ballista and Journey to Eternity. But first, let's just play our black Swamp here. Let's do a Nature's Lore, find our Overgrown 2. Of course, let's just actually put this graveyard, because we actually care about it, closer to us. Right there, let's find our Overgrown 2. God, it's a big deck. See, since we got our Woodland Chasm, but I mean, we would have played the same thing if it was the other way around, if that was an Overgrown Tomb and we fetch a Woodland Chasm. That's why I really like these basic land types with the 3 visits, stuff like that. It's really cool. All right, look through our cool deck. Overgrown Tomb here into play. Actually, I'll play tapped, but Nature's Lord can be untapped if you want. All right, let's shuffle this deck up real quick. Bam, there you go. All right, untap. Turn 3, this is where we start to think about casting Old Stickfingers. Right here, Necromancy. Okay, we got our Reanimation spell, sweet. Okay, so we put our Forest. Man, I want to play Walking Ballista and then Journey to Eternity at the same turn, so I could flip it and turn it to a land. We could play Persist. Oh, that's a Reanimation spell. I thought this was Unmarked Grave, I'm sorry. Persist and guess a non-creature back. That's pretty neat. Okay, so let's see what we want to do this turn. I think what does it for me is since we have Reanimation spells, 2 of these, and then we could play them both next turn if we play this on its land side. Then instead of playing Walking Ballista this turn, we'll play Old Stickfingers for 2 and hope to hit 2 good hits. Okay, so we'll just tap 4 mana, which is already tapped. Old Stickfingers for 2, so we'll mill 2 here. So this is our yard here. Swamp, well, if you won't mill. Okay, we'll just go right through those creatures. Guard Grave Troll, we could dredge that. Here we go, Heroic Intervention. Mikaeus, ooh, that's sweet. Okay, we take this, we just shuffle it, put it at the bottom of our deck. There. All right, we could reanimate those. Persist cannot get Mikaeus because Mikaeus is legendary. Guard Grave Troll cannot be gotten either. I mean, can be gotten by Persist. So what we want to do is we got choices. Turn 4. Okay. Do we get Guard Grave Troll back to our hand through dredge and hopefully dredge 6 some good cards? That's actually or do we draw a land? We can play Academia's Awakening as a land. It's a painful land, but we can play it. So let's just dredge 6. Guard Grave Troll goes back to our hand. We'll dredge an Orborg. Oh, we could use that land. Torment of Hailfire, we could use that. Swamp. Woodland Cemetery. Razakath, ooh. And Forest. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now remember, Old Stickfingers is 2/2 because 1, 2. So let's just put 2 there. It keeps changing. Guard Grave Troll's back in our hand. That's our draw, so you don't draw a card from top of your deck. So what we could do is we could Necromancy our Razakath and go crazy. Let's just save that because I think we need some lands here. We could persist back. Let's see. We can't persist back anything because we have 2 legendaries. Mikaeus and Razakath are legendaries. So we cannot persist because it's non-legendary. So that's out of the question here. Or we could do that combo we said. Walking Ballista, Journey to Eternity to ramp us. So let's just do that. That'd be kind of cool. Okay, so we'll play Academia's Awakening. For its backside, Academe, the Undercrypt, untap, will take 3 damage. We'll play 2. Walking Ballista. And then we'll tap this. We'll play Journey to Eternity. Enchant creature you control. When it dies, return to the battlefield under your control, then return Journey to Eternity. Battlefield transform under your control. So what we can do is play Walking Ballista for 1. We can just shoot somebody right there, have Walking Ballista die. It'll bring Walking Ballista back again, but Walking Ballista will die again because that's how Walking Ballista works. Journey to Eternity will become a land. At Zol, Cave of Eternity. So return target creature card from graveyard to battlefield. Sweet, that's a little ramp for us. And then Stickfingers come through 3. Okay, so next turn we do some shenanigans here. This is our hand. We say pass. Next turn here. Now we have 6 mana, which is great. We draw a card. A swamp. Okay, 7 mana. Drop my swamp. Right there, 7 mana. What can we do for 7 mana? Okay, we can go Osmosis Archfiend, go crazy, draw a bunch of cards. We can Necromancy Razakath and start Demonic Tutoring or Mikaeus right there, give things Undying. Choices. So what I would do is I would Necromancy right there. Well, let's actually think about this here. Do we actually need Necromancy, or can we just use... We can persist the Walking Ballista, that'll just die immediately. All right. We could play Osmodeus right here. We won't get to draw cards. Guard Grave Troll. I think what we do is we just Necromancy our Razakath right there. Razakath. right there. Put this here. Now we can sack Old Stickfingers right there. So what we can do is just sack Old Stickfingers. 2 Razakath, put it back in command zone because we don't need Old Stickfingers anymore. Now we get the Demonic Tutor for anything we want. And we got 4 mana. We do Unmarked Grave. Oh, Mikaeus doesn't get Chaos back. So we definitely have Threshold. So we can get Stitched Together here. Does anything return 2 cards at once? Get Dance of the Dead. Shieldred, Brawn. We get a bunch of stuff. Entomb. Living Death. I don't know. Let's see what we get. See what else we can go, huh? This deck's pretty sweet. And no, having a Demonic Tutor takes forever, doesn't it? Yeah, now we got 4 mana to do any Demonic Tutoring. But I think if we get another creature, we get Demonic Tutor again. I say now if we get a creature that reanimates like Phyrexian Delver, well, we're so off. We're so close. Right there, Timeless Witness. Look at that. Let's get that one. I like that one a lot here because it's a creature with card advantage that gets things back. Okay, we'll get a Timeless Witness for our Razakath shenanigans here. All right, get our Timeless Witness. We'll cast our Timeless Witness here. Then we get back cool stuff here. Now, I think in this case, we can just get back Mikaeus, right? Or land. Actually, I think the important part is we need lands, right? So we kind of timeless. We kind of Razakath for a land and a creature. Yeah, we need lands. Let's get some woodland cemetery back because our deck is mana hungry. So we're just gonna get a land back. Sometimes you just need a land, right? Turn 6 here. Boom. Caustic Caterpillar. Now we can use that for Razakath fodder, which is probably what we're gonna do here. Okay, so do we have a combo going on here? Can we win? I think we can. Okay. So what we do is we sack Timeless Witness here to Razakath, get Entomb, cheapest way to do it. Entomb. Right, since we're searching our library, we'll just Entomb right there. We will Entomb for our Triskelion, of course. Let's see, Triskelion. We'll Entomb our Triskelion right there. Let's see what else can we do here. So now we got Reanimate Mikaeus and Mikaeus and Triskelion. So we can persist Triskelion. We'll persist Triskelion here. Gets -1/-1 counter, so only gets 2 +1/+1 counters, but it doesn't really matter. We can play Caustic Caterpillar. Here, we'll sack it to Razakath. Here, let's put this card aside here. Sack it to Razakath. Find a reanimation spell that we have 4 mana for. What's a good reanimation spell? I don't know. There's tons of them. Let's find a good one. I think Vigor Mortis is pretty good right here. We'll do Dread Return. That's even better reanimation spell. Because we could sack 3 creatures and then reanimate something else. Alright, we'll do Dread Return. Here, we'll Dread Return our Mikaeus and Hollow. Right there. Do is take these 2 counters, kill Triskelion. Triskelion will come back with our 3 counters +1 from Mikaeus and Undying. And then we'll kill our opponents. Bam. And that's how you do the infinite combo kill. But, you know, if you don't want to have that in your deck, you could just remove Triskelion from your deck or remove Mikaeus from your deck. It is what it is. You can also sack Triskelion to, remove all the counters. Then Triskelion will be a 1/1. Sack Triskelion to Razakath. Come back, get infinite tutors this way. But of course, if you have this combo, why bother, right? Anyways, if you enjoy this video, enjoy me playing around with Graveyard Reanimation, searching my deck a million times, give this video a thumbs up. Smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for new videos. And as always, have a wonderful day.